Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the first meeting of Asian nations on reducing disaster risk since the Sendai World Conference, wherein the Sendai framework was adopted last year. How to implement that plan in Asia will be one of the main outcomes of the Asian Ministerial Conference on disaster risk reduction. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spelt out the challenges and set out a 10-point action plan or agenda towards disaster risk reduction.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Asian Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction 2016, which aims at taking forward the Sendai framework in the Asian region. The Sendai framework is a 15-year voluntary non-binding agreement which recognizes that state has the primary role to reduce disaster risks, but that the responsibility should be shared with other stakeholders including local government, the private sector and other stakeholders. This framework, adopted at the 3rd UN World Conference in Sendai, Japan in March 2015, is the first major agreement of the post-2015 development agenda with the aim of reducing disaster risk. Addressing the conference, PM Modi outlined the journey of Asian nations in the field of disaster management, from dedicated institutions leading disaster risk management efforts to a fully functional Indian Ocean tsunami warning system and improvements in cyclone early warning. The progress made is there for all to see.
In a couple of days, we will observe the first International Tsunami Awareness Day. This would be an occasion to celebrate the huge improvements we have made in tsunami early warning.
The Prime Minister also described the challenges in the field of disaster management. PM outlined a 10-point agenda to overcome these challenges by renewing efforts towards disaster risk reduction. All development sectors must imbibe principles of disaster risk management. He stressed on the need to work towards risk coverage for all, starting from poor households to the SMEs to multinational corporations, covering the entire range right up to nation states. There is also a need to encourage greater involvement and leadership of women in disaster risk management, invest in risk mapping globally, leverage technology to enhance efficiency of disaster risk management efforts, develop a network of universities to work on disaster issues, utilize opportunities provided by social media and mobile technology, build on local capacity and initiative. Opportunity to learn from a disaster must not be wasted. And finally, bring about greater cohesion in international response to disasters. PM Modi quoted his own learnings from the Gujarat earthquake of 2001 and the post-earthquake recovery under his CM-ship. Quoting the example of India in increasing risk coverage for those who need it the most, PM Modi called for innovative thinking in this area.
In India, the Housing for All program and Smart Cities initiative represent such opportunities. India will work with other partner countries and stakeholders to build a coalition or center for promoting disaster resilient infrastructure in the region.
The Sendai framework aims to substantially reduce global disaster mortality, to substantially reduce the number of affected people globally by 2030. The conference will pave the way towards implementation of this framework in the Asian region. It will also devise a mechanism for monitoring its progress. India is committed to address issues concerning disaster risk reduction and strengthen resilience to disasters.
There is now international acknowledgement that efforts to reduce disaster risk must be systematically integrated in policy, plans and programs for sustainable development and poverty reduction. Disaster risk recognizes no political boundaries. This includes risks caused by human actions. Disasters in one region can and will impact other regions.
On the closing day of the Asian Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction, the New Delhi Declaration, a political commitment of participating governments towards preventing and reducing disaster risk, will be adopted. It will also adopt the Asian Regional Plan for implementation of the Sendai framework. Sudhir Yadav's report, DD News.